In this solo episode of the Happy Hustle Podcast, we're talking about street smarts. These are two fundamental business lessons that I learned from hustling. And I'm talking about hustling, not necessarily the right way, quote unquote, the legal way. This is back in my youth when I was doing things that I probably shouldn't be doing. And, I paid the price for it. But I did learn some very valuable lessons that I want to share with you today, because these are things, if applied to your business, to your products or services, will for sure help you happy hustle your dream reality. We're going to be diving into this episode of the Happy Hustle Podcast. Do you want blissful balance in your personal and professional life? Great. What's up, guys? My name is Cary Jack, and I want to help you happy hustle a life you love, one full of passion, purpose, and positive impact. I'm a lifestyle entrepreneur, a professional model / actor, a digital marketing specialist, a podcast host, author, a biohacker, an eco-warrior, a martial artist, a hippie cowboy, and a humanitarian. My goal is to educate, inspire, and entertain you to live a life of passion, purpose, and positive impact. It is time to happy hustle your dream reality. What is up, you beautiful happy hustlers out there? Cary Jack here, and I hope you are crushing the day. Now, I want to share with you street smarts. These are two fundamental business lessons that I learned from hustling. And I'm talking about hustling, not the complete legal way. I will reveal a little bit of history. I am a man of full integrity now. I operate within the law, and I really, do things with that moral code at the ultimate capacity. But back in my early youth, that was not me. I was doing things that were not technically legal. I was selling goods and things that potentially could have got me in big trouble, and did. And, I learned some very important business lessons from hustling. Now, there's different levels of hustling. The level that I was at, I'm just going to be, again, transparent. It was maybe mid-tier hustling. We did at one point have the federal authorities after us, and I did end up going to jail. It was a short stint, but I learned the hard way. And now I want to share these lessons with you from hustling, these two very important fundamental business lessons that no question, will be a game changer for you if you actually apply them properly. And these two lessons, they're not like some foreign concept that probably you've never heard of. It's just the way I'm going to share them with you, I hope resonates and hits different. So let's get into it. Now, the first business lessons that I want to share, the two specifically, are supply and demand economics and USP, unique selling proposition. These are two fundamental business lessons that I learned firsthand from hustling, the streets, and how you can actually use these currently in your business. Whether you have your own business or you work for a company, these will apply. And I want you to just change your frame of reference of how to use them. So again, supply and demand, the first fundamental business lesson I want to share. Pretty much everyone knows, supply and demand principles, but I'll share it with you, okay? As the demand falls, the supply rises. As the demand rises, the supply falls. So it's pretty much this direct correlation. The supply may increase, and then the demand will fall, right? So think about, you can even just think simply with the housing market. If there's more supply, the demand will decrease, thus also the price. Price is largely correlated with supply and demand. And this is something I learned on the streets. The more product that I was selling, or that was out in the market in that given area, and by product, I'll just keep it vague, but use your imagination. It wasn't something, again, I'm proud of. The more product that was on the market, the cheaper the price was, right? Supply went up, demand, went down, and as did the price. See, this becomes an essential lesson for investors, entrepreneurs, economists to understand and predict the market conditions, knowing that supply and demand are always at play. Now, I want you to just think about for your own business, okay? Think about right now, what is the supply like for your product or service, just truly in the marketplace? And you have to sometimes get outside of your little bubble and look with perspective of what is really happening out there. And again, these have a direct correlation, the supply and the demand, on your pricing and ultimately, what really happens in your everyday, business and the sales cycle accordingly. So I want to read this to you. A company considering a price hike on a product will typically expect demand for it to decline as a result and will attempt to estimate the price elasticity and substitution effect to determine whether to proceed regardless. Okay, so essentially, again, if you want to raise your prices, you can somewhat expect the demand to decrease. Now, there will be a threshold. It depends if you're dealing in that very premium category, where you're selling to the ultra rich. Oftentimes the increase in price will increase demand, like a Louis Vuitton bag. If you make it more expensive and you also decrease the supply, the demand will go up, right? So these are things that I want you to think about. Where are you at in terms of your market pricing and the supply and demand around it? Do you want to be a race to the bottom, where you're like the value products like Walmart, for example? Or do you want to be in the mid-tier, more so like, a Target, right? A Target is, this mid-tier, more so value that it is got plenty of supply, but there's also plenty of demand. It kind of floats in the middle. So again, supply and demand economics, I learned this firsthand when I was, doing things the wrong way. And I'll share an example. At one point I was manufacturing fake IDs, right? Fake IDs, I only had the capacity to make a couple every day. So those ones that I had, for the people who wanted to actually buy them, they went quick because I only had the capacity, the supply, to actually manufacture a couple of them. So the demand was high, right? If I was just printing them out on, autopilot and just had this manufacturing system worked out, then obviously, the supply would be a lot higher, thus the demand dropping. So again, I think you understand this. I just wanted to just share this very fundamental business lesson. The second fundamental business lesson that I learned from Hustlin is your unique selling proposition. Okay, so this is huge. Different is better than better. You gotta understand what is different about your product or service and how you can position yourself in the marketing or in the marketplace. Now, there's 4 P's of marketing. I want to share with you these 4 P's, and this plays in to your USP, your unique selling proposition. Okay, so the 4 P's are your product characteristics, right? And these are how you can differentiate your product characteristics, your price structure, your placement strategy, and then your promotional strategy. Okay, the 4 P's of marketing: product characteristics, price structure, placement strategy, and then promotional strategy. All right, so if you are thinking to yourself, how can you actually sell more of your products or services? You have to think about your USP in the marketplace. And these 4 P's of marketing really help to distill it. I'll give you an example. Think of Nike, right? Nike, the sports and footwear industry leader, has great USP, right? Nike sponsors top athletes in many sports branches to promote their products, technology, and design. And then Nike targets an audience by saying that it aims to bring inspiration and innovation to every athlete globally. And so their USP is centered around the technological innovations, the inspiration, and that promotional strategy that, hey, you can play basketball like LeBron James, just get his, shoes, right? Like these are these USPs at work in the marketplace, and, they're effective. Like this is why, companies like Nike can outsell companies like Puma, because they have this marketing and this USP completely nailed. Now there's some, iterations upon it. There's campaigns that Nike put out that aren't as effective. And I'm sure there's campaigns that Puma put out that are much more effective, right? I'm just using these examples, but you get the point. Your USP, and this is something that I learned from Hustlin. I had a really good product. It was locally grown. This is before, let's just say, cannabis was legal. We had locally grown, hydroponic, like top strains indoors. By locally grown, I mean like in California. But it was really like top tier cannabis. And, I was young, and it was a part of the hustle was slanging this, right? But I remember that it was such a superior product because its performance, aka its effect when consumed, was so much superior than its competitors. And that was the unique selling proposition: its strength, its smell, its look, in comparison to the other, products on the market. So again, the USP is huge. Again, I use the term hustling and some of these examples, but you get the point, right? You have to have these things baked into your products or services as a business owner if you want to win. All right. So supply and demand, first, very important concept that, you learn, and then also your unique selling proposition. So I hope this is kind of, just a refresher, but also kind of makes you think about where you're at. Whoa. Apologies for interrupting your programming, but I got to tell you about something I'm super excited about. This is something very unique that we do at The Happy Hustle, and that is the Montana Mastermind Epic Adventures. See, you can listen to podcasts, watch YouTube videos, read books, acquire all this knowledge, but I believe the best way to achieve ultimate success and fulfillment is to actually align yourself and connect with like-minded, badass, high-performing, heart-centered humans. And that's why it's important to go to masterminds. Now, whether you go to the Happy Hustle masterminds or you go to other ones, that's on you. But I got to tell you about the one that we're doing upcoming in March, the 22nd through the 26th, which is going to be sweet, especially if you love snowboarding and skiing. If you're a high-performing male entrepreneur who's making over six figures, who wants to network with a rock star group of just badass, world-class happy hustlers while shredding some pow, this may be for you. We have an amazing mountain mansion, which you could ski right into. We got a professional chef cooking up some delicious, healthy meals. We're going to be doing masterminds where we share wins and challenges and adversities and just how to overcome them. We're going to be soaking our bodies at natural thermal hot springs. We're going to be enjoying some super cool activities like ice fishing and hiking and campfires and other awesome stuff. And we're going to be digitally detoxing from our devices. That's most important. So if you're interested, hurry up and apply, because there's truly only a couple spots. This isn't like a tactic. We only have a couple spots left based on the number of beds in the mansion. So if you want in, you can go to thehappyhustle.com/mastermind. Okay. Now, and if you don't like skiing and snowboarding, no worries. We do have some amazing epic camping adventures coming up this summer. So check them out. If you like camping in the backcountry wilderness, if you want to learn primitive survival skills and fly fish and, dip in cold plunge, amazing alpine lakes and just hike up these remote mountain trails and really just connect with Pachamama, our beautiful planet. We do have these summer trips coming up too, which are filling up fast. So that's it. Let's get back to this episode, but I just wanted to let you know you can go to thehappyhustle.com/mastermind to apply today. All right, let's get back into it. Now, I do want to mention a book that I love called The Blue Ocean Strategy. And when it comes to supply and demand, this is an interesting concept. Rather than competing in a red ocean, aka a bloody ocean, meaning there's a lot of competitors, I want to give you an example. So think of the circus, right? The circus, pretty much a red ocean. Everyone's got animals, which I don't agree with, and, clowns, and there's whatever the guy's called, a host or an usher, and there's performances and acrobats, sure, whatever. Then you think of like Broadway, entertainment, like it's also a red ocean. There's a lot of shows, there's a lot of plays, there's a lot of story weaved in, there's a lot of talent and actors. Okay, so Cirque du Soleil came in and they created a blue ocean by combining two red oceans. So they increased the demand because there was no supply for this newfound entertainment circus, right? You have both Broadway and this spectacle of acting and performance, and then you have the circus of acrobats and all this talent that comes with the circus. And they combined it to make Cirque du Soleil, which created thus a blue ocean. And that's how you can get out of the supply and demand economics and really create your own blue ocean and eliminate the red ocean, competition. So this is just a concept I wanted to put there, out for you. The unique selling proposition of Cirque du Soleil, right? They just have a completely different product characteristic. Like you're not going to see what you see at Cirque du Soleil anywhere else, right? Their price structure is similar to, thus of a circus or a Broadway show. Their placement strategy, local and, international and regional distribution, sure. But the promotional strategy, again, it's like this experiential, completely different form of entertainment. So you have to think about your USP and how you can create those blue oceans. This is just a concept I wanted to bring to your awareness and want you to think about for your own products or services in your business. Again, lessons from hustling, things that I wasn't proud of that I used to do, and now I've become a much better man. And, I did pay the price for hustling, and, I've had things go wrong. I've been robbed. I've had guns to my head. I've, like I mentioned, been put in jail. These are things that you learn from doing things the wrong way. And, you just want to apply those things that you learn into your evolution. And I wanted to just share them with you so you can learn some of these concepts from hustling that are also very applicable for whatever you're doing, your supply and demand, how you position yourself in the marketplace using your unique selling proposition and just creating that blue ocean. These are concepts that are timeless and universally applicable, and they will help you happy hustle your dream reality if followed. So I hope this is valuable. I hope you don't think less of me, for some of my past. Ultimately, we live and learn. We make mistakes, but definitely a better man for it. And, persevering past adversity is the name of the game with persistent consistency. So I hope this was valuable. If it was, I highly recommend, guys, shameless plug, but I go deep into all this stuff in my book, The Happy Hustle, 10 Alignments to Avoid Burnout and Achieve Blissful Balance. You can get it at thehappyhustlebook.com. You can also get the audiobook version, which I have some fun interjections and, a lot of interesting side notes, not, that you can read just in the book. You actually have to get the audiobook version to hear these nuances. So if you were interested in going deeper on this topic and more, you can go to thehappyhustlebook.com. Regardless, I appreciate the heck out of you so much. Please, if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe and click that like button and share this with somebody. I really am so grateful for you and your time, and I hope that these two fundamental business lessons resonated and you just acquire some more street smarts in the process. All right, y'all, I'm out. Peace and love.